Good afternoon, everybody. It's Jane Birkinshaw here from Love Your Lens. I have apologies, first of all, for neglecting you recently. I feel as if I've hardly had chance to come along into the group and see what you've all been doing. And I'm very behind giving you some feedback on our last topic, which was the edge. So thank you very much to everybody that's entered, and thank you for bearing with me. I've had a lot of shoots on and a lot of lessons, and it's been a bit of a mad busy phase, but great fun nonetheless. So I'm going to talk to you today about some of the submissions for the edge. We've had a lot. It was obviously a subject that you all thoroughly enjoyed, and I've got a selection of around 10 images here that I've picked out to comment on. So let's go. Okay, the first image here, and I hope I've got everyone's names right this time, but the first one I've got here is an image by Steve Marchant. Very atmospheric image, lovely composition with a very central sort of symmetrical composition to it, with the boardwalk leading the eye out to the sea. The light is beautiful, and the rays in the sky are lovely as well. So it's a very classic composition, this one, simple, and works very well, and is well rendered in black and white. It is a little over processed, I think, which is why it's looking so grainy. It could also be down to the size of the image that you've submitted there, Steve, because it's only 107 kilobytes, so I guess the resolution isn't that great, but a good image nonetheless, and I bet the original looks really stunning. Then the next one, we had a whole run of people who have obviously been lucky enough to get across to New York recently, and been shooting from somewhere called The Rock. I've never had the pleasure. I'm very jealous of you all, but this is the shot that I picked out by Helen Bristow. I particularly liked all the colours in it, the steely blues and greys, and the fact that it was a slightly different take by including the binocular type thingy at the front that you look through to get a glimpse of the view in detail. So yeah, it was more about the textures and colours that I really liked in this one, and that it was a slightly different view, and iconic tower, very much obviously American, and nice shot. Then this fabulous shot by Paula Chatterton, The Edge of Lake Windermere, I think. Obviously some really nice use of slow shutter speeds, and possibly, I guess you might have used filters, Paula, in order to be able to slow the shutter speed down, get the movement of the water in this kind of ghostly way that we don't get to see with our eye, because obviously it's done over a longer shutter speed. The colours are wonderful. I love all the textures here, and yeah, the colours work really well in the background here. I found this rock here a bit distracting, especially with the bright light coming off it, and I don't know what your feeling is on editing, Paula. I would have perhaps been tempted to edit that rock out and see what the shot looked like without it in, but otherwise really nice shot, and great to see people playing with longer shutter speeds. Then this shot by Barbara Williams, cheeky little squirrel peering over the edge, and I mean, it's not quite sharp. We know that, but I think we've made this point a few times before. Yes, in an ideal world, every single shot will be sharp, but I like to pick ones out that have work on perhaps other levels. And this one, I just really like the angle that she's caught the squirrel at. That must have taken some doing, and a very watchful eye and a quick press of the shutter to actually capture that moment of him peering out over the edge. So it's quite a humorous shot, nice colours, so nicely done. Then we've got this shot by Vicky, and lovely colours in this shot. I really like the warmth of the heather in the foreground. It's almost kind of in three distinct bands, this shot, where you've got the warmth of the colours here, you've got the sort of the warmth of the rock and the texture of the rock, and then you've got the lovely blue sky behind it. There was some debate about whether or not Vicky should have zoomed in to make it more obvious that there were people on the top. I think not. I think as you study the image, you become aware of the people and it shows the scale. But by zooming in, cropping in, you'd have lost all this lovely colour here, which also tells you the season. And I like the sort of dynamic, sort of diagonal composition across there as well. Then another shot by Vicky, a little girl peering over the edge into a net. A lovely little candid shot that tells a nice story. This look here can't be faked. It's very genuine look of childish delight and curiosity of what have we caught, and it kind of makes you question, well, what have they caught? Which is always good when a picture kind of provokes a reaction in you. So really nice little candid childhood picture there, one for the album and to be cherished in the future. And then Paula, very nice shot here. I can't remember where she said it was, but very jagged edge of rocks here in the foreground, and then the sort of the vista, the expanse of it stretching out into the background. We can tell what a bleak day it was. It's all very cold and jagged and hard, and the black and white works perfectly to kind of reinforce that message. So nice job there, Paula. And I suspect it was quite hard work walking up there to get that view as well. Karen Herman Wright, this is a great shot, spot on to the brief. Boardwalks always make for nice subjects, but Karen has done her own take on it, as she does in such a great way, where she's changed the angle and perspective of it. We still are having, leading the eye off to a distant point, but I just love the angle that Karen's taken on this, and rendering it in black and white again has made the structure and the repeating patterns and textures within the image stand out on their own merit. So I really like that shot, Karen. Whoops, always get this problem with this, don't I? Right, and then the next shot by Karen Herman Wright as well, fabulous. I've taken shots like this of my daughter doing some abseiling, and they weren't as good as this. I love the angle that Karen's got. She's looked out for the best place to take the picture. She's thought about what she's doing in terms of composing the shot rather than just panicking and capturing the moment. She's got this lovely strong triangle across here, another triangle here formed by the girl's body, and then all this lovely use of negative space as well. And again, the simplicity of it in black and white just makes that image really striking. So another great shot, Karen. And then this one makes my knees go funny with the height. I probably do have vertigo. This is a fabulous shot, really nice, but I would stress, please don't put your lives at risk for the weekly challenge. Yeah, I mean, it's a great view. I love the boots in the foreground, obviously the bit that makes it, a little bit of red, mirroring the red boots here as well, down there with the person, and all the great textures. Again, looks slightly over processed somehow, either over sharpened or some effect used on it that's just kind of made it a little bit too over processed, and it looks a little bit overexposed, particularly when you look in these areas here. But the concept of the shot is absolutely brilliant, and the nerve to do it. Congratulations, Sarah. And then we've got a shot by Lisa, who has been stunning us with some of her bird images anyway. So this is a cheeky little chap peering out from behind the bird feeder. Really like it. Just a few comments, if you don't mind, Lisa. I think that if you cropped out this area on the right hand side here, so you cropped it somewhere over here, it would be slightly stronger, and potentially a little bit of a crop down this side as well, although that doesn't bother me as much because it's all context of where we are with the bird. And just that little bit up there, just crop that out very slightly because it's just impinging on the edge, but absolutely spot on for the brief and nice capture. Then another one from Paula. I love this. It's just so simple, and this bird is just about to take off, and because it's been frozen in the moment, he almost looks like he's about to fall off. He's spotted something. Look at the concentration in the eyes there on whatever prey he's decided to go off. And again, it's just the simplicity of the composition. There's nothing else to distract you from what's going on there, and this use of negative space reinforces that. And again, potentially, and here we go again, potentially we could just crop down here, just take out a little bit of that, but that's a minor point. Again, it's a shot I really like. Then we have this one by Tim Hislop. I really like this shot. There's a lot going on in it, and but it's all kind of relevant somehow. And yeah, the bird's not completely sharp on his wings because it's moving, but it is on his beak and his eyes where it matters. It's the whole story of where he is. Obviously, entertainment being put on for these people at this very posh hotel here, who are all kind of getting on with their own business. Not even sure if they're actually watching, but it's kind of, yeah, it's the story it tells. I really like it. And the guy's hand here just kind of the bird's, well, whether he's coming in to get the bird or whatever. But sorry about this. Every time I wiggle the mouse and get excited, it does that. Okay, so favourite shot of the week for TheEdge, won't come as any surprise to anyone. It's fabulous. It's by Lisa Rusco, and it's just such a great shot. It's a 1 in a million, really. You couldn't set this up, could you? And it's the scale of the two, the dog and the snail, the slug, whatever he is, and the depth of field is lovely. The colours are perfect. There's no kind of jagged colour that is grabbing your attention and taking you away from the subject, and the composition's great as well, with this kind of diagonal line across here, and I think it's an absolutely excellent capture. Really well done, really funny, and you should think about entering that into a few competitions, Lisa, because I think there'll be some themes that it would really suit, and yeah, so well done, Lisa, for that one. Okay, well that's brilliant. I mean, as many of you know now, we've moved to a monthly theme to give more people chance to enter, and to give me a bit of chance to catch up and take a breath and concentrate on some of the work that I've got coming in. And the first monthly theme is being launched with a competition with some actual prizes, and the theme is the magic of autumn. We're still quite early days now, aren't we? We're about a week in, and I think we might have had a couple of entries, so I'm sure you're all waiting for that magic shot that you're going to take in order to enter, and I'm also waiting for some good weather where we actually might get some magical light rather than this kind of a lot of rain and wind that we've been having. So thank you very much for entering this week, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what we do with the competition, and see those entries start coming in. And I will be on the Facebook group a bit more, communicating with you, and dropping in the odd thing that you might find useful. So hang on in there, and I'll speak to you again soon. Take care.